Time really flies, but it's definitely about time for an update again. In recent years, it has almost always been the case that here in northern Germany the best nights for astrophotography are in spring and autumn, while summers tend to be too humid and winters too cold and cloudy. Unfortunately, this autumn hasn't been quite as good, but last Saturday I managed to capture data throughout an entire night. It was a full moon night, but I took that as an opportunity to revisit one of the very first objects I ever photographed, H and She Persei, the beautiful double cluster. With the 2600 MC, the ASCA 103 and the 0.6 times reducer, I collected just over 2 hours of exposure time, and this is the result. Something struck me this time that I have never noticed before. Perhaps thanks to the deeper integration, the background is almost completely empty. No prominent galaxies, no prominent nebulae. That puzzled me at first. Apparently, the cluster lies within a spiral arm of the Milky Way that has a particularly high dust density. So while you see plenty of foreground stars, the dense dust clouds block our view of anything further in the background. That explains it, and I hadn't really realized that before. After finishing the double cluster and being pretty much finished myself after a long week, I did my calibration frames and thought, the night is too beautiful, I'll try one more object. I decided on NGC 1499, the California Nebula. I ended up with 2 hours and 40 minutes of exposure time. Considering the full moon, I'm really happy with the result. In PixInsight, I processed 2 versions, one with stars and one without, and combined them. This time I'm much more satisfied with the blending method than I usually am. The starless version looked so good on its own that I tried to preserve as much of that look as possible in the final image and tried different blending methods. Maximum was the best in my opinion. Yes, the criticism that I should have rotated the frame is valid, but I also really like this composition. Oh, and then there was a lunar eclipse as well. While I have the privilege of running the public observatory here in town, that didn't really help me this time. The total phase of the eclipse had already begun before the moon rose above the horizon here. Even with the observatory roof open, the moon would have maintained hidden for quite a while and I would have missed the best part. So I decided to drive out to the sea and watch the eclipse there. I only brought my Samyang 135mm lens. Sure, I could have packed the ASCA too, but I prefer keeping things simple sometimes. I managed to capture a few shots showing the rising blood moon over the skyline of the neighboring town. All in all, it was a really enjoyable astro weekend. So what's next? At the observatory, I've got new equipment ready for the 10-inch GSO carbon Newtonian on the EQ8 mount, including a TubeTech 2600 MC. The whole system will be switched over to APT, which will take some time to set up properly. For something that involved, I want to be fully restored. Feel free to let me know what you think of all the new images. I'm really looking forward to Galaxy season with a Newtonian telescope and the new camera. And of course, the ASCA 140 will also be running parallel. I can't wait to see the results. And finally, I wish you all an exciting planetary season. I've already marked in my calendar the very rare Titan shadow transits across Saturn. Go and catch them, I'll try it as well. Clear skies.